2022. Please remain standing for our pledge and honor code.
I pledge allegiance
we
Thank you. You may be seated. If I could please just remind everyone to silence their cell phones as we begin our program this morning. I'd first like to invite Ms. Beth Lettengarver forward for our invocation. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're having the alma mater first. Come on up, though, Beth.
Pine School families and friends. We gather on this special day, recognizing our diversity in beliefs, values, and faith traditions, yet honoring our unity in gratitude. In a world where many do not have the opportunities that we enjoy, we are thankful for the achievements and the honors we celebrate today. In a world where many have a difficult future, we are thankful for the dreams, hopes, and plans that have been nourished within our community. In a world where many have no community, we are thankful for the support of our mentors, teachers, family, and friends. As we go on from this ceremony on different paths to different experiences and different destinies, may our gratitude unite us always in the desire of using all that we are and all that we have for the common good, so that reasons to be thankful will fill our lives each day. Honoring our unity in gratitude, I invite you to reflect on all that is yet to be, while expressing thanks for the gift of intellect, accomplishments, the support of family and friends, and a community that encourages and celebrates education. May our gratitude on this commencement day grow into peace for one another and freedom to live, work, and serve throughout all our days. Amen.
Now to join me in our welcome, our board chair, Liza Hutchinson.
Welcome. Thank you for coming together today, parents and grandparents, family and friends, to celebrate the class of 2022 as they receive their diplomas. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our commencement ceremony. We are proud of our graduates as they have upheld the values important to us as a school. Please join me in wishing them well as we honor their academic achievement at Pine and send them off to the adventure that awaits. Thank you.
I'll echo the welcomes that you've heard. Families, trustees, faculty and staff, and friends of the Pine School. Most especially, though, welcome to our seniors, the 36 members of the Pine School's class of 2022. We've been anticipating this day for a while, and now that we have finally arrived, we are so happy to gather together. I speak for everyone here who has come to witness your graduation when I say how proud and elated we are to celebrate with you, the Pine School's 14th graduating class at this commencement. It is my sincere honor to be here this morning and to convey diplomas to these students, 8 of who have been Pine School Knights for their entire education. Last night, we enjoyed a beautiful baccalaureate service to begin the process of sending our graduates onto their next adventure. Thank you to Mr. Sean Carlson and Kat Villano for the sincere and humorous speeches they offered, and also to Madeline Racino for the beautiful music that added to our service last night. We have invited this morning a very special guest to address the class of 2022. To introduce him to everyone, I'd like to welcome Keely Mader to the stage.
Good morning. My name is Keely Mader, and I've been a student at the Pine School for the past 14 years. In the fall semester of my sophomore year, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to attend the Island School. Just as the Pine School has a unique nature-filled campus, the Island School, which is set on the southern tip of Eleuthera Island in the Bahamas, is surrounded by the blue waters of the Atlantic. During these few months, I traded my cell phone for a journal, adapted to living on the uniquely sustainable campus, and engaged in experiential learning in the natural wonders of my temporary island home. Today, I have the honor of introducing the founder of this institution, Chris Maxey, to speak to our graduating senior class. The Island School encourages students to call teachers by their first name. However, Chris affectionately became known as Maxey by most students. Perhaps my most fond memories of him were spent in the water freediving during the early hours of the morning. While the students would be gasping for air after a dive, we would all look down to see Maxie gliding along the ocean floor about 70 feet deep. This is one small example of how Maxie inspired and challenged us to expand the boundaries of our comfort zone. To offer a more formal introduction, Chris Maxey received an undergraduate degree in history from Yale University, spent 6 years serving as a U.S. Navy SEAL, and as if that was not enough, he went on to earn a master's degree from the University of Miami Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences. Out of all of the career paths Maxey had the opportunity to pursue with his impressive achievements, he humbly chose to found a school to help cultivate future leaders through his vision of a challenging, interdisciplinary learning environment. I couldn't imagine a more fitting person to share their thoughts and experiences as my classmates and I prepare to embark on our next chapter. So please give a warm Pine School welcome to the commencement speaker for the class of 2022, Chris Maxey.
Good morning. Kile, thank you for that awesome introduction. I'd like everybody to breathe deep with me and breathe into this moment. The message that came through last night, the powerful speeches at the baccalaureate, were all about how important it is to live in the moment and enjoy a special time that obviously marks a beginning, a new beginning, and an amazing end of a journey. It is a great honor to be here to celebrate the Pine School graduating class of 2022. I thank the board and head of school, Vinnie Caffrey, for trusting me. It feels like the graduation speech always wants to be about advice, and often comes from someone who is a stranger. I feel that it could be about celebrating this journey. And I was fortunate enough to spend time here at the Pine School this fall. On November 5th, I arrived a stranger and spent a rainy morning being inspired by the Pine School family. I am excited to share some of the powerful lessons that I learned. My journey began as I was welcomed with a big smile from Suzanne Carlino. With umbrella in hand, first impressions are so powerful. With that small gesture, Ms. Carlina set the tone for my whole day. Walking down the corridor, Vinnie Caffrey came to greet me and explained that the rain had unfortunately canceled big plans around the French Week and the famous Tour de Pine. She added that nothing stops good energy at Pine School and promised me a full and adventurous morning. I was off to Nat Osborne's Honors Florida Environmental Studies class. We talked about the manatee skeleton reconstruction project, and I learned how students are out working alongside scientists out on the Indian River with the orca team. Pine creates space for real work for young people. Mr. Osborne explained that the weather requires a change in plan and it was not making sense to go work in the garden. How would everyone feel about going to share with the kindergartners, drawing their favorite garden vegetables? Sounds like a good plan. Diane Hollowell was excited to see us. Jake and I were drawing carrots to a little person, and he was remembering being a kindergarten student and having Mrs. Hollowell as an awesome mentor to start his journey with. It is amazing that there are so many lifers in this gang. Next adventure was learning about the clubs that have been launched by students with the goal of helping the community be more sustainable and more inclusive. The Environmental Club is working on improving recycling through awareness and having more resources. I met Environmental Club co-sponsor Doc Bogowski, who also sponsors the GSA Club. She shared how active the Pine School community has been in working to make everyone feel safe and respected. I walked around the new building with JT Mass and Kelly Hilton Green to discuss how Island School might land and take refuge if there's a big storm. Let me just share some gratitude for how open the Pine School community has been to take care of the Island School. It was great meeting with Beth Lettengraver in admissions, thinking about how we might bring some of the young kids from Eleuthera to homestay and join the Pine School community. My last meeting of the morning was with the seniors, the graduates. We met in the library. It was a free period, and everyone was engaged and eager to share. The fun began with stories of an 8th grade field trip to Camp Dixie in South Carolina. The powerful theme came through. We are family, and we fight like family, and we are there for each other. I learned about the famous hip-hop dance in middle school, always space for creativity and putting yourself out there. More recent adventures included a rainy slip-slide pickup football game, and everyone was included. Patrick jumped in to share that he had just transferred this year and was instantly welcomed into the family. There is no way to build family without strong family behind you. So please join me in thanking your families who are here to celebrate with you. There were many past teacher stories, tales of Mr. Koshia and his candy jar, Mr. Shemelis, middle school sex education. I can't share all of that now. Miss Mormon, geography, and how she told all of her class, "You are my kids, you are my family." Many more teacher names and connections kept coming. Woodbury and Shaughnessy, Pierce and Hughes and Squire. In the end, Sean Carlson was celebrated by all. And it was clear why last night. His lifelong connection to Pine, his tough and demanding persona that challenges all to be the best that they can be, and when needed, there is still compassion and support. The message, he believes in us and helps us believe in ourselves. Most of the time in the library was celebrating the close relationships with faculty. And so I want to take a moment on behalf of this great class to give a huge Concorn blast to the faculty, to all the mentors through the years who have helped raise you up. This is a close community where people care about their school and environment. They care about strangers and about each other. A couple weeks back, Keely offered to get on a call and help me make sense of my notes. I asked her how everyone was doing. Are you guys excited for the next chapter? She said, it feels bittersweet, as we are soon to be leaving two homes, as the Pine School is a true second home for all of us. I know that I said in the beginning, and yet I have to finish with a little advice for our graduates. Take with you the lessons learned from this great second family. Feel confident and responsible for knowing how to be a good friend and make a difference for others and for the planet. As our culture and our ocean planet faces many challenges, we need you to be our hero generation. Your accomplishments and your positive spirit brings us hope. Congratulations to the Pine School graduating class of 2022.
That was awesome. I think I'm going to learn to play the Concorn before Mr. Maxey leaves today. We really appreciate that personal message, Chris, and are so glad you could be here to celebrate with us. Today, two members of the class of 22 will address us all. Selected by their peers, our student speakers will share reflections and parting words on behalf of and to their classmates. Our first speaker today is Simon Ross. Simon, if you'll come on up. Hey. Involved in all things Pine, Simon shared the leadership of upper school student life efforts over the past year. He also leaves an incredible legacy of a solid Model UN team. Simon.
God, it never gets easier every time. Been speaking in front of the school for what, 5 years now? Still want to throw up. Whew. All right, good morning, faculty, family, alumni, and most importantly, the lovely graduating class of 2022. I mean, we look fantastic today, don't we? So many of you know that I tend to enjoy a good movie. It could call it my favorite rainy day activity. So in honor of that, to start today, I decided to write my own personal rendition of a speech from one of my favorite films, Fantastic Mr. Fox. When I look out over this gym with our futures a moment away from us, I see a terrific musician, a skilled sailor, a wonderful animator, a savvy author, a few excellent soccer players, a crack lawyer, a gifted engineer, a pretty good economist, and possibly the best future doctor on the scene. Maybe a few of you might even see a halfway decent politician standing in front of you. Who knows? I also see a room full of wild kids with true passion and true talent. Wild kids with names given to us by our parents that mean something to us and those around us. Wild kids with strengths and weaknesses due to their DNA. I think it is the differences among us that provide me with a slight glimmer of hope for our world. I am truly honored and humbled to have been selected to be the one to cap off our last 4 years. As Mr. Squire says, we are finally turning off the exit ramp, and in my own words, we made it. As I turn off the exit ramp of high school, to me, there's a little more being left behind than just a school. Today marks the moment where high school becomes a fond memory and no longer our reality. I still remember the day I toured the Pine School. It was around this time 5 years ago, May 22nd to be exact, when I walked into the class of 2017's college pep rally. I remember the feeling overwhelmed with excitement and imagined myself sitting in those chairs one day as Mr. Carlson announced, "Simon Ross going to the University of Wisconsin. Go Badgers." Starting at Pine was intimidating, knowing that most of the student body had been friends since they were 3 years old. I was nervous that I would never fit into such a close-knit community, but evidently I was wrong. From day one, I was welcomed with open arms. There was never a day I sat alone at lunch or had no one to talk to in the hallways. I still remember sitting in the back of Dr. Hudgens' class on the first day, joking around with Rain Highland, someone who would become my lifelong best friend. Now, 5 years later, with our futures on the horizon, I cannot help but look in the rearview mirror and take a trip down memory lane one last time as a class. One thing I find so incredible about our bond is our ability to recognize inside jokes with little to no explanation. I cannot even count the number of times I've been told that our class shares the same humor. One sentence can trigger a memory and can make us all laugh. A few of my favorite examples include the infamous Greenville Door, the majestic blue heron of southern Florida, the legend of Miss Leonelli's Geode Rock, whose name I don't think I could say out loud right now, and of course, our beloved faculty member, Mr. Mortel's JPAC chant. While growing up, I always complained to my parents about how bored I was. I could never sit still. Most parents would throw on the TV or a few Legos down and the kids would be set for the rest of the night. Not me, though. I could never be satisfied. I was always bored and I could never really explain why, and when I whined to my parents, hoping they could cure me, my dad would always quote my great-grandfather, Abraham Reinhorn. My dad likes to call him Good Old Abe, a short, wise, and lovable guy. Good old Abe used to say, "Boredom is good for you. It's what makes you think." Every day, I would hear the same thing, repeated and repeated. I would claim I was listening, but I never really was. Kind of just heard what my dad was saying and moved on to complaining once again. If you can't tell, by now, I was never the easiest child. It wasn't until I was about 9 or 10 that I truly grasped what I'd been told for the first entire decade of my life. One day, when I was bored like I always was, I got to thinking like my dad had always said I would. In those days of thinking, all I wanted to do was watch videos, not just any videos, but specifically ones about history. I would watch for hours, and slowly I stopped complaining about my boredom less and less. I became fascinated with how the world came to be and in which direction it would take. In those years, I spent cooped up in my room, learning every single possible fun fact you can find. I became bored again, so I got right back to thinking. After the years I spent researching anything that would keep me occupied, I concluded in my adolescent mind that the world has never been perfect. I realized that the world would never be perfect, no matter how hard we try. At such a young age, I felt like I had lost hope for a lot of things in this world until I came to Pine. When I'm surrounded by these fantastic people, my fears melt away, and for a split second, I feel that the world is as it should be. When I think of everyone graduating today, I truly believe that this is a group of people that can make a difference. I'm not saying we have to make the world perfect, because we can't. I'm simply saying that we are the people who will point it in the right direction. No matter where each of us end up, I know that we have the power to make the world a better place. I have dreamed of this day before I can even remember. To have the pleasure of standing in front of my best friends and their families truly excites me. I could not have asked for a better place to grow up than Pine. These walls hold many different memories of myself, and I admit there's a lot of them I would choose to forget. But in the end, Pine has made me the ambitious, caring, enthusiastic, loving person I am today, and none of it would be possible without every single person in this room. So I will leave you today with the reminder that every single one of you is special. No matter where you end up, you have the potential to create a better world for generations to come. Cannot wait to see what you all achieve and the people you become. I want to conclude this speech with my favorite quote from good old Abe. Today is a day worth living. And one last time before I become a Badger, go Knights.
Thank you, Simon, for your entertaining and reflective words. The second speaker for the class of 2022 is Hannah Squire. Hannah has grown up at the Pine School and will go to a new school for the first time in the fall since starting early learning at Pine. She's led the student body as one of our head prefects and has contributed to so much of all things Pine. Please welcome Hannah Squire.
Thank you, Simon and Mrs. Caffrey. Good morning, family, friends, faculty, and class of 2022. First, I'd like to thank my peers for nominating me to speak today in front of you all. This is only one of the many opportunities that they have given me over the years. Now, where do I begin? I suppose the best place to start is my beginning at the Pine School's Stewart campus 15 years ago. Although I don't remember most of the details, I can imagine myself 3 years old in that yellow pine polo on my first day of school. Like many before me and many after me, I headed to Mrs. Hollowell's classroom. I can still smell and hear the old Stewart campus, that damp, thick scent of fallen pine needles, and the buzzing of bees in the open field and in the butterfly garden. And when I think of that first golden chapter of my life, I think of the people who lived it with me. Pine School giants like Mrs. Dolan and Mrs. Hollowell, who are everyone's mothers and caretakers. My friends who have been with me from the start, Kendall, Reese, Jack, Keely, Jake, Michael, and Spencer. And although we lifers are a little taller now, and maybe we've traded our yellow polos for pink and green, not many of us have really changed. We are those same kids who hesitantly met on that first day and are now crying together on our last. We are the same kids who, a little nervously, let go of our parents' hand and walked into school alone, August of 2007, and will again repeat this act this upcoming August. And now, on the eve of our future, it is important that we give credit where credit is due. And we all know, don't we, seniors, that we are not the reason that we sit here today. I want to begin by thanking those members of the Pine School community who have made an impact on our lives and who are often not thanked enough. So thank you to the maintenance crew who keep the school running inside and out. Thank you to Juan Martin, a loved member of the Pine School, a father to 2 Pine School students who passed away from COVID this past year. Our hearts go out to his family, and his loss will forever be felt by the Pine School community. Thank you to the lunch ladies who keep us fat and happy and supplies high. Believe me, this is a task. I've seen how many grilled cheese sandwiches Jack Shepard can put down. Thank you to those who guide us from above, Mr. Carlson, Mr. Hilton Green, Miss Caffrey. Your kindness is not overlooked. And to Mrs. Hampton, Mrs. Franks, and Mrs. Lettengarver, I bet each one of them could tell you a personal story about each graduating senior. That's how much they are involved and care about the Pine School students. Thank you to our sports coaches who dream of championships, my coaches throughout the years, Coach Hollowell, Coach Keenan, Coach Isdaner, Coach Ellis, Coach Keitel, Coach AJ, Coach Hilton Green. Thank you for believing in me and making me a competitor. Many athletes have come and gone through the Pine School, but few of them make an unforgettable impact with their strength, courage, and spirit. I've been lucky enough to know a few of those greats, like Josh LaCourte, who is graduating with me today, and his brother JJ. A huge thank you to Mrs. Pacifico, without whom we wouldn't be sitting here, with our decorated college caps, ready to begin at a college that's just right for each of us. She made the transition smooth and stress-free, or as stress-free as the college process can be. I hope we have done her justice as her last graduating class, and happy retirement, Mrs. Pacifico. And most of all, my Pine School experience has been shaped by my teachers, too many of them to name. When I look out into the crowd at the faculty in their Hogwarts-like robes, I do believe that there has been magic here. Although sometimes we might get a little grumbly, I would like you to know, teachers, that we look up to you. You have given us a most valuable gift, the gift of knowledge and of curiosity, the gift of guidance. You have been our mentors and our friends. You are the soul of the school. To the many teachers who have passed a lifetime of learning onto me, you have given me a world-class education. This is truly the most precious gift I've ever received. As many of you know, my time at the Pine School has been more special than most because I've been able to have my father as my English teacher. For 3 years at that renowned conference table in his classroom, I sat right next to him. Sorry about that, Dad. Each day, I would listen to his endless wisdom and his amusing stories, and I'd leave wondering if he'd ever stop surprising me. Because although we live with our parents, we also lead busy lives. Sometimes we don't ask our parents the questions we should, those people who sacrifice the most for us. We are so focused on growing up and living our own lives that we forget that we are watching our parents grow up too. Because of our daily car conversations to and from school and my 3 vibrant years in class with him, I feel extremely lucky that I've gotten to know my dad more than most. This is a bit hard to write because there's so much I want to say to you, Dad. So much that I should have told you all along, but I think you know because we're both a bit psychic. I have treasured every minute with you. You are and will always be my most important teacher. Now, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I'm your speaker today to thank the other people who have meant the most to me. Bear with me. I urge you, my classmates, to do the same later on, whether over graduation dinner or on the way home in the car. Thank the people who have given their lives to creating yours. You won't regret it. To my mom, you are my rock. You have sacrificed more for me than I ever believed someone could. You have taught me what it means to love someone so deeply that you work yourself to the bone every day to provide them a life of comfort and of happiness, of travel and education, of long beach walks and sunny winter naps. You, Mom, are the reason I'm standing here today in so many capacities. I love you. And to my brother and best friend, thank you for always looking out for me, for being playful and kind and strong. You have always been my role model. To continue the tradition of 14 years together at Pine, I can't wait to join you for 4 more at FSU. Go Noles. I hope you aren't tired of me yet. And thank you to the rest of my family, Grandma Sandy, Grandma Kay, and Papa, my great Aunt Jane, my aunts and uncles and cousins who are not here but will hopefully watch my speech later. You all are a part of me. I feel as though I'm a Horcrux, only a piece of a bigger whole. Sorry, another Harry Potter reference. My dad is probably shaking his head after all the books he's had me read, and I still reference Harry Potter. I am the incarnation of generations before me. I am their love, their sacrifices, and their dreams. Like Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner says, it's not an easy thing to meet your maker. But unlike Rutger Hauer, I'll stop with saying to them, thank you for creating me. And finally, I'd like to thank my friends, my classmates. You are the people who carried me through this dizzying ride of childhood. You have been my peers, my laughter, my good and bad decisions, and my comrades in arms. I can't wait to see what you all go off to achieve. And remember that although we may not end up together, we began together, which means more than you think. If you ever need me in the future, I will be there for you, as I hope you will be there for me. Phew, that was a little heavy. Sorry about that. But if any time is the time to say those things, that was it. So follow in my footsteps, fellow classmates, and on this celebratory and emotional day, give those teachers and friends and family a hug and a kiss and tell them thank you. Now my time is almost up. As I stand up here on this podium, still my father's little girl at heart, I want to send a message out to all of you, to every one of you, from the oldest and wisest grandparent in the room to the youngest wide-eyed sibling. Although I am but an egg, I am not a stranger in a strange land. None of us are strangers on this hallowed planet. So please, have hope. The world is not as lost as we all might believe. Look for beauty around you. Focus on the tiny, perfect things like this moment right here, as we sit surrounded by the people we love the most. Embrace love and kindness. Be the friend a friend would like to have. Respect nature. The world sometimes seems broken. Wars are fought, pandemics battled, hate spewed. But do not get overwhelmed by the bad, because there is good too. New technologies save lives. Species are brought back from extinction. The youth are joining hands against old injustices. There is so much to learn, exotic and wonderful places to travel to, people to love. So have hope and fly off to those adventures and careers you've been dreaming of. All is not lost. Make what differences you can and be the best version of yourself. Be the person that your younger brothers and sisters look up to and that your parents and grandparents are proud of. Next year, take advantage of your brand new adventure. Roll in the Utah snow or stroll in Boston's Old North Church. Admire Rome's architecture or read a book on a sandy California beach. Don't be afraid to go where your curiosities take you, because, as I'm sure your parents will agree, you'll always have a home back here. And keep in touch, because we are family. Now go, class of 2022, go with optimism and love, and I'll come too. I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Hannah, and to all your classmates for the way your time with us has shaped our community. We are counting on you all to stay in touch for sure, because indeed we are your family. All right, Mr. Carlson. Mr. Carlson, have these students met their graduation requirements, and do they stand ready to receive their diplomas officially graduating from the Pine School?
Ms. Caffrey, the seniors assembled here today have met the graduation requirements of the Pine School. And are ready to receive their diplomas. I present the class of 2022 to you and Mrs. Hutchinson.
Ladies and gentlemen assembled here today, we will now recognize these fine young men and women as graduates of the Pine School. I would like Mrs. Hutchinson, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Mr. Chris Maxey, our guest speaker today, to join me downstage as we award diplomas.
All right, here we go. Angelina Ivana Agrillo. Angelina will be attending Florida State University.
Angelina would like to thank her parents, Jenny and Anthony Agrillo, who have given her every opportunity to succeed in life, pushing her even when she wanted to throw in the towel. She would also like to thank her best friend, Pitafina, for the endless adventures, the introduction to different music artists, belly-aching laughs, and the reality checks that have molded her into the character she is today. She also can't forget the lunch crew that always keeps the conversations interesting, which never ceases to amaze her with their creativity. She would also like to thank the faculty and staff who have guided her inside and outside the classroom, the athletic team who dealt with her bursts of energy and encouraged her love of fitness and indulged her habit of asking for mints and pretzels. Also to the athletic staff for greeting me in the morning and encouraging her. She will treasure these past 4 years for the rest of her life. Also, don't forget, go Noles.
Lydia Rochelle Avila Estacio. Rochelle will be attending Indian River State College.
Rochelle would like to thank all of her teachers for dealing with her and making sure she was always on track. She would like to thank her parents for constantly making sure she was also on track. Special thanks to Mr. Squire for always letting her eat lunch with him when she didn't know anyone at Pine and for teaching her all of his knowledge.
Isabel Michelle Bongino. Izzy will be attending Auburn University.
Izzy would like to thank her parents for always supporting her in everything she does, her friends for making high school memorable, and the rest of her family for always cheering her on.
Michael James Boyd. Michael will be attending Northeastern University.
Michael would like to thank the awesome teachers and faculty at Pine for giving us all such an amazing high school experience and wants them to know how much he appreciates their continued effort to make Pine the best it can be. He would like to give special thanks to Mrs. Pacifico for gracefully guiding him through the daunting college admission process. Michael would also like to thank his friends and family for continuously motivating and uplifting him and always being there to support him through all of his endeavors. Finally, he would like to thank Mr. Carlson for being the best advisor anyone could ask for.
Ethan Robert Brooks. Ethan will be attending Florida State University.
Ethan would like to thank his parents for always cheering him on. He would also like to thank his brothers for the constant entertainment and laughs. Finally, Ethan would like to thank the friends and teachers that have made high school special, and go Blue.
Selena Maria Budd. Selena will be attending Northeastern University.
Selena would like to thank her parents, Dave and Marcy, her sister Gianna, her teachers, and all of the faculty at the Pine School for their endless guidance, support, and love. Pine has truly become a second home for Selena, and she is beyond grateful for the amazing relationships she has created over the last 4 years. She would specifically like to thank the lunch crew for being effortlessly entertaining, and Pitafina for being the ultimate friend group. And lastly, the entire class of 2022 for always being by her side. She will miss all of you so much in college, but will never forget the deep impact you all have made on her life.
Lily Grace Colonese. Lily will be attending University of Central Florida.
Lily would like to thank her family for supporting her. She would especially like to thank her parents for their unconditional love, encouragement, and support throughout her journey. She would also like to thank her friends for always being there for her, giving her true joy, and creating beautiful memories that will last a lifetime. She would like to thank her teachers who have challenged her and built her up, teaching her not just about academics, but about life as well. She is very thankful that she has been able to attend the Pine School for 2 years and appreciates all that she has learned and experienced here. Most of all, she is thankful to God for all he has done, and she is excited to see how he will move and use her in the years to come.
William Cade Crook. Cade will be attending Santa Fe College.
Cade would like to thank all of his family, friends, teachers, and coaches that have helped him reach his goals throughout high school. All of you had a tremendous impact on his high school career, and for that, he is so grateful.
Xavier Tukach Chateau. Xavi will be attending Stetson University.
Shavi would like to thank his parents for their never-ending love and support, even in the most difficult of times. Their love and desire to help him succeed have molded him into the person he is today. He would also like to thank his friends for making his transition to Pine easy and making him feel at home, and he hopes to make more memories with them this summer. And lastly, he would like to thank his teachers for their belief in his abilities and their willingness to put up with him all year. Although he has only been at Pine for 1 year, the memories he made this year will last a lifetime, and for that he is extremely grateful.
Andre Petru da Silva. Andre will be attending Carnegie Mellon University.
Andre would like to thank his parents for supporting him through the ups and downs of his high school career and always being there to keep his wheels spinning. He would also like to thank his brother for being his all-time best friend and teammate throughout their 15 years together. Andre would also love to shout out his grandparents and all his uncles and cousins for being his #1 supporters. To conclude, he would like to also show his appreciation to all of his friends, teachers, and coaches that have made each day of these past 4 years so memorable.
Michael John D'Egidio Jr. Michael will be attending Auburn University.
Michael would like to thank his parents for always supporting him and helping him with whatever he needed to do to succeed, and his sister for always pushing him to become a better person and for being such an important lifeline in his life who he could always rely on. He would also like to thank his grandparents, aunts and uncles, and cousins for showing him what it is like to live a fun and exciting life. Michael appreciates all of his coaches, teachers, and family members for all of the guidance that they have given him, and is forever grateful for everybody who has helped him become the person he is today and for helping him get to where he is now.
Kendall Jane Eaker. Kendall will be attending the University of Miami.
Kendall can't begin to thank her mum, dad, and sister enough for being the best support system possible because it has truly meant the world to her. She is also so grateful for her grandparents' continuous efforts to cheer her on from the sidelines at every sports game. She would like to thank the faculty that has gone above and beyond to prepare her for success during her 15 years at Pine. She will miss you all. Finally, she would like to shout out her classmates for such a special senior year and the lifelong friendships she has made.
Daniel Luther Eide. Danny will be attending Florida State University.
Danny would like to give a big thank you to his parents for working hard to give him the privilege to come to Pine, another to his teachers for all of their guidance and mentorship, and to his friends for making it fun and giving him room to grow as a person and come out of his shell.
Mitchell Starling Fahey. Mitchell will be attending the University of Central Florida.
Mitchell would like to thank his family for always being supportive and loving every step of the way. He would like to thank his friends for always being kind and for making fun memories with him. Last but not least, he would like to thank all of his teachers for giving him an amazing educational experience.
Peter Hargett Foley III. Peter will be attending Tulane University.
Pete would like to thank his teammates in the 4 different sports he has played throughout high school, his coaches, friends, and peers for making high school as enjoyable it could be. He would also like to thank his sister, Audrey, for being his best friend and partner in all of the sailing that they have done together. He would also like to thank his teachers for being so understanding and supportive in balancing world-class sailing commitments with schoolwork. Peter would also like to thank his extended family of aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents for always cheering him on from home when a good or bad day of racing happens, and most importantly, Mom and Dad for all the amazing things they have done for him throughout his life, and he will always remember the dedication they put into him and use what he has learned from them as he transitions into a life of his own. Lastly, he would like to thank his late grandmother, Nanny, for being his #1 fan through the beginning of his sports career and for giving him the strength to strive to do better every day.
Rain Michael Highland. Rain will be attending Auburn University.
Rain would like to thank his parents, brothers, and family for supporting him his whole life. They have given him the opportunity to study at this amazing school and get into his top school for college. He would like to thank all of his teachers for pushing him to be a better student and achieve academic success, for always being there when he needed help, and for being able to connect with him on a personal level. Mum and Dad, thank you for everything you have done for me. I couldn't have done it without you.
Jacob Matthew Katz. Jake will be attending Florida Gulf Coast University.
Jake would like to thank his mom and dad for always being supportive of him and giving him plentiful opportunities to pursue his goals and passions. He would like to thank his siblings for always being supportive and lifelong competitors and friends. Jake appreciates all the love and support that all of his grandparents and extended family have shown him. Finally, he would like to thank his acquaintances and teachers at the Pine School for an incredible 4 years.
Joshua Arthur LaCourte. Josh will be attending Wesleyan University.
Josh would like to thank all his friends, teachers, and coaches for contributing to his success so far, and a big thank you to his parents and older brother Johnny for helping him shape him who he is today. He loves you all. Roll cards.
Jasmine Isabel Urena. Jasmine will be attending University of South Florida.
Jasmine would like to thank her parents for always prioritizing her needs and supporting all of her aspirations. They are the best parents anyone could ask for, and she is so grateful for everything they have done for her. She thanks her family for always being her biggest supporters, and she loves them so much. She would also like to thank her sister for always being there for her, especially during the college process, and for being the best friend she could ever have. She will always look up to her. Jasmine would also like to thank her closest friends for always encouraging her when she was doubtful. Finally, she would like to thank the teachers who assisted her when she was either falling behind or was stressed with certain assignments.
Keely K. Mader. Keely will be attending University of California, Berkeley.
Keely would like to say thank you to her parents for being her biggest supporters and role models. She also wants to thank her big sister, Naya, for being the best friend she could ever ask for, and her dog, Moby, for always being there for her. She would not be the same person she is today without the love and support from her family. Keely is extremely thankful to all of her teachers and coaches for their hard work and for helping her succeed. Lastly, she is very grateful to have had such great friends at her side during her years at Pine and wants to thank them for all of the memories they've shared.
Grayson Tyler Mecklin. Grayson will be attending Palm Beach State College.
Grayson would like to thank his mom and dad for giving him an opportunity to fulfill his high school education at the Pine School, which gave him the necessary tools he needs to be successful in college. He is also grateful for his brother's support whenever he needed advice to guide him in the right direction. Finally, Grayson would like to thank his teachers and friends for an amazing 4 years of high school.
Nicholas Polvos Gomez. Nico will be attending Florida Gulf Coast University.
Nico would like to thank his wonderful parents for allowing him to transfer schools and for all that they have done for him to get him to where he is today. He also sends a huge thank you to the Pine School as they have given him lifelong memories and friends.
Mary Madeline Restino. Madeline will be attending Utah State University.
Madeline would like to thank her parents and family for providing undying support throughout her high school career and beyond. It means a lot to her to have someone actively contribute to helping her be her best self, from teaching her how to polish her boots to chasing her around the house and reminding her to put the laundry away. You have her eternal gratitude. She would also like to thank her cello teacher, Miss Lynn, for providing her with an incredible outlet for expression through the form of music. Your teachings will last to me a lifetime. She would also like to recognize all of her coaches and teachers who've helped her and hopes you know how grateful she is. Madeline sends a big thank you to her friends who have shaped her into who she is today and hopes you all go on to do great things.
John Daniel Ross. Jack will be attending University of North Florida.
Jack would like to thank his mum, his dad, his grandma, and his whole family who have supported him throughout his high school and personal life. He would also like to thank his teachers who helped him out in many ways and made it possible for him to graduate. Finally, he would like to thank his friends for being there for him and making high school an enjoyable experience.
Simon Abraham Ross. Simon will be attending University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Simon would like to thank his parents, siblings, and teachers and fellow students for supporting him through his time in high school. He would like to recognize his parents, Adam and Krista Ross, for everything they have done for him in his time as a student, along with his siblings, Kaylee, Mount, and Jacob Ross, for sticking by his side. He would also like to thank his teachers, especially Mr. Carlson, for believing in him and pushing him to do his best no matter what. Finally, he would like to thank the entirety of the Pine School for being such a fantastic place to share his high school experience with.
Jake William Schoonmaker. Jake will be attending Valencia College.
Jake would like to thank all of his family for supporting him, and he would like to especially thank his parents for always having his back and helping him through the first chapter of his life. He would like to thank all of his teachers and coaches for teaching him lessons that will help him in and out of the classroom. Also, Jake wants to thank one specific coach in general, that being Thomas Chiara Mataro, for teaching, guiding, and molding him into the person he is today, and for teaching him how to dance. Lastly, Jake would like to thank all of his friends for being a part of his life and being a part of the grade that he calls family.
Indelible.
John Brady Sexton. John will be attending Brown University.
John would like to thank his family from visiting from Arkansas. He'd also like to thank Pitafina for all the indelible memories throughout high school. Lastly, he wishes to thank his mother, who has been through his side through loss and laughs, through trials and triumphs.
John Charles Shepard. Jack will be attending University of South Florida.
Jack would like to thank his mum, dad, and his brother James for always supporting him. He would also like to thank his dentist, all of his coaches, teachers, and friends for helping him during his time at Pine.
Reese James Slater. Reese will be attending University of Georgia.
Reese would first like to thank his parents for giving him the opportunity to pursue his goals. He would also like to thank the amazing teachers at the Pine School for all of the guidance that they have provided over the past 15 years. He thanks his friends for the endless memories created in school and out. He also thanks his entire extended family for supporting him throughout his journey. Reese would finally like to thank all of his teammates and coaches at Pine for pushing him to be a better version of himself every day and for giving him an opportunity to lead a great group of guys. Carlson is the GOAT.
Tanner James Sperlin. Tanner will be attending University of Florida.
As his high school career comes to a close, Tanner would like to give a huge thank you to everyone who has made it possible. Thank you to his parents who made it possible for him to go on to such an amazing school, and his family for their support. He would also like to thank his teachers, coaches, and classmates for all the many memories they have made over the past 4 years.
Hannah Chase Squire. Hannah will be attending Florida State University.
Hannah would like to thank her parents for being her first educators, her best friends, and her biggest fans. She cherishes all of the time with you and couldn't ask for a more loving family. Hannah would also like to thank her brother for being her companion and rock, and can't wait to join you on her next adventure in college. Hannah would also like to thank the rest of her family, her grandparents, and her great aunt especially, for the constant encouragement and support that grew her into a better and kinder person. And finally, Hannah would like to thank everyone who helped and taught her through her 15 years of Pine, her teachers, her coaches, and her classmates. She wouldn't be here today without all of you, the people she grew up with. Pine will always live in her memories as the golden years.
Spencer Lane Stevens. Spencer will be attending Florida Gulf Coast University.
As Spencer nears the end of his time at the Pine School, he has a few sincere thank yous to his teachers that he would like to share. He would like to thank Miss Woodbury for always keeping a smile on her face during advisory, no matter how disruptive our class was. He would also like to thank Miss Carling for being such a positive mindset and always going out of her way to help us, whether it was schoolwork or our life outside school. Most importantly, he would like to thank his fellow classmates for making this senior year the best it could have been. Thank you.
Patrick John Windover Stocker. Patrick will be attending Rollins College.
Patrick would first like to thank his parents and family for always supporting him and helping him through all the times in life when he needed them. He would like to thank his sister for always being nice and helpful and being there when he needed her. Finally, Patrick would love to thank all of his teachers and friends for being an amazing senior year at Pine.
Charles Griffin Thompson. Charles will be attending Fordham University.
From the bottom of his heart, Charles would like to thank his family, friends, and educators who not only made his high school possible, but made it worth the time. He would also like to thank the songs that kept him awake during his morning drive. He literally wouldn't have survived until now without them.
Catherine Mitchell Villano. Kat will be attending University of Florida.
Kat would like to thank the Pine School faculty for creating a second home for her here. She's especially grateful for her teachers and the lifelong impact they've had on her. She'd also like to thank her friends for the unforgettable memories they've shared and for acting as the siblings she never had. She will miss them so much next year. Finally, Kat thanks her parents, Jody and Robert, for being her built-in best friends and showing her that anything is possible. Their support is what brought her here today, and she couldn't be more grateful.
Celia Ann Wilson. Celia will be attending Boston College.
Celia would like to thank her family for encouraging her in all her endeavors. She couldn't have done it without her mum, Ellen, and dad, Lee, pushing her to success. She would also like to thank her two sisters, Olivia and Grace, for being the most perfect role models. She is so grateful to her amazing teachers at the Pine School who have helped raise her. And finally, Celia wants to thank the friends who have become family as they've grown up these past 10 years. We made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our graduates, the class of 2022. I invite them to stand and face the audience. Seniors. Seniors, please move your cap's tassel from right to left, signifying your official graduation. Congratulations, graduate, and welcome to the Pine Schools Alumni Association. Your fellow alumni and all of us here hope you will become active in that community and always support the school in spirit and with affection. Thank you, and please be seated. Our traditional rose ceremony is next. Graduates, we invite you to come forward and honor your families. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to our chorus. That was beautiful. New graduates, our newest alumni, we have reached the end of our time in school together. Many people have brought us to this moment. Your families have offered their unwavering love and support. My colleagues at Pine, for whom I am immensely grateful, have worked diligently to educate you and create a school environment worthy of all our learning. You yourselves made the commitment needed to earn the honor we award today, a Pine School diploma. As we watch you recess and head to the breezeway to toss your hats in the air, many of us will ask how this school might stay with you as you leave. I sincerely hope you hold on to my wish from last night's baccalaureate, that you remain curious, never stop learning, and model this for others. During today's commencement, if you've listened well, you leave with more knowledge than you came, some wisdom for sure. Let that always be the case when you open your ears and take the time to really hear others. As you file out of this gym in just a moment and head off for the celebrations ahead, I can't help but wonder what image or memory of this campus and school might stay with you. The view of newly sprouted wildflowers on the hill as the classroom buildings sprawls out down the drive. The sun setting behind Bonneville Field. Flames reflecting off the bridge from the homecoming bonfire. The giant slip and slide out for an afternoon of fun. Perhaps it's quiet time in the art room as you create beauty. Could be a familiar friend's smile across a classroom table, the winning goal or basket scored by a teammate, enthusiastic applause after a stellar musical or theatrical performance, the mass of field day winners shouting for joy. Whatever your image or memory, class of 22, let it stay with you, and year by year, let its meaning grow. Dear graduates, keep the Pine School in your hearts, for we will keep you in ours. I close today with a benediction adopted from Tiffany L. Steinwert when she was the Dean of Hendricks Chapel at Syracuse University. Standing on the edge of possibility, we pause to drink in the deep sense of accomplishment, pride, and hope for this merry moment. Suspended in time between a student's past and a graduate's future, we gather with abundant joy and overwhelming gratitude. This commencement embodies our vision of education as an engaged and dynamic partnership between the Pine School and our families, students and parents alike. Today we celebrate our collective commitment to respect, responsibility, honesty, and equality, to creating a better and more just world. May we bask in the joy of this day, and may the fierce dedication and patient perseverance that has brought us to this moment carry us forth to create a world marked by kindness and compassion beyond measure. We are going to have our recessional. Guests, please remain in your seats while we file out. Graduates, you'll head to the breezeway and we'll gather for our cap tossing, and please don't disperse. And again, if our guests could wait until we recess out in reverse order, that would be most appreciated. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We look forward to visiting after the ceremony. Have a wonderful day.